Anyway, week 4, here we are, boys. Back and better, back and ready to do it again. I'm sorry I missed last week, but unforeseen circumstances came to be with a little bout of mono. Still dealing with it, but we're going to power through it, all right? Right into our power rankings. I haven't been right a lot. Every bold take I've had, considering all our teams are 1-2 or 2-1, I think my own retard opinions don't hold any weight right now. And I'm going to just rely on the ESPN rankings for this week until I get my mojo back. I'm just going to add your team and one thing I think you need to do to become top dog. So we're going to start it off. I think it's pretty obvious at this point. Funari is the team to beat. Top to bottom, looks pretty solid. But Kyler's schedule gets a lot tougher after this week. And maybe it's time to upgrade for the team depth. Quinn, same as Foon, solid roster, top to bottom. But Prob looks a lot better if Kirko gets replaced. QB 25, not cutting it right now. Number 3, Carson with the bronze medal. It could be time to trade Rashad now that Bucky Irving has arrived. And I'm starting him this week, by the way. Camaro won't drop 40 every week, so you're going to have to, find some points somewhere else. Number 4, Zach. Figure out if Mooney is legit. If not, you're going to need a new wide receiver too. I mean, that's the glaring hole on the roster. Declan is at 5. Team's pretty solid. Plenty of touches all around, but Goff is just not screaming fantasy champion to me or you, if we're being honest with ourselves. Number 6, big climb, Pat. That wide receiver room is simply not built for success right now. You need a stud wide receiver 1, but I like the rest of the team. If you want to play with the big boys, maybe dust off the rape jacket and get to work. Number 7, Benjamin Henke. Biggest question mark here somehow is Patrick Mahomes. Maybe package him with Dell, get a better starter. You have the wide receiver depth to do it, that's for sure. Number 8, the fall from grace can only be solved by a CMC return, Santoro. Blockbuster trade could be the other way you do it. Not trying to get Bucky for Kmet, by the way. That was a trade offer to me, guys. What do you think about that? Bucky Irving for Cole Kmet. Get real. Genuinely felt insulted by that, by the way. 9, Cam. It is time to trade one of those tight ends so you can get yourself a real wide receiver 1. Pittman will never see the workload that you're asking for. Number 10, Frasca. Looking at your running backs, I guess that we'd be in a 32-man league. Spears and Swift need to get out of there. Part with one of your wide receivers to make it happen. You need a running back, brother. 11, Nicky Bags. For now, you're going to suffer once Chuba is dethroned by Jonathan Brooks. So you're going to need something before that debut. Number 12, Grant. Team is way too top heavy. Playoff team for sure, but who the fuck's Tyler Johnson? Yeah, who are you starting at your flex right now? Figure it out. Max at 13. So obvious that Trevor Lawrence is not good. He's washed. He's done. He's got no O-line, and it hurts your ability to score, flat out. Number 14 is myself. Team is basically Lamar and a bunch of retard apes throwing shit at each other. Burn it to the ground. Try again. Meet me in basketball season. Number 15, Spunk. Love the wide receivers. Hate the running backs. I don't think Ford is the future at all. And Cordarrelle. They're barely starters, let alone in fantasy. Number 16, NASCAR. I wanted Zeke to work in Dallas, but it doesn't seem likely. Move on from him. New RB2 as soon as you can do it. Now onto the matchup predictions. I got Declan clapping my cheeks. His wide receivers are going to double my scores for sure. Unless Lamar sets a rushing record, I don't see myself winning this game. Quinn is going to beat Bags with a closer than expected W, thanks to a long day Flowers TD and Saquon continuing to eat at Tampa. Carson owns Max this week in the biggest blowout. Purdy torches the Pats. Jefferson, Amari combined for 50 points. And Brandon Ayuk, dog shit. Frasca takes down Spunk thanks to nagging injuries for Kings of New York. Josh Allen probably throws for 1,000,000 points too. That's an easy one. Zach edges Pat. Highest scoring matchup of the week, in my opinion. CD careers against the Giants tonight. Ridley fails to push Pats to a win. Another Monday night shit game. Sam Toro beats Grant thanks to Kelsey finally getting involved and scoring twice. Not going to see a lot of points in this matchup, though. Funari beating Cam with ease, let's be real. Too many favorable home matchups. Unless Brees decides to career, it's just too much. And then Hanky comes down NASCAR's throat in the biggest defeat of the week. Shakir legacy game. Cook, Najee both score. AR still doesn't know how to play QB correctly. Sorry, some bugs out here. My Celestial locks, which I don't think anyone's taking, but if you want to hear them anyway. Lions -3.5. Rams +2.5. T. Higgins anytime TD against my beloved Panthers. And that would wrap up the week, but I did say that I was going to have a bonus this week, so I took it upon myself to rank the teams by how much fun their starting QB would be to bring to a strip club. This is purely experience. This one, I actually have some opinions on this. Number one, this is the impetus of this conversation was me asking myself who's the best. I'm like, it's my guy. It's Lamar at number one. Lamar is the best. He's the inspo for this whole thing. Dude is probably throwing bands at Magic City every bye week. Knows every dancer by name for sure. Gets let in free. Knows the managers, everything. He's number one. Number two, another top tier guy, Baker for Pat. Baker Mayfield, no-brainer. Night out in Tampa with Baker, you know exactly what you're getting by that, you know? Screams nose beers, well drinks, slutty women who smell like roller rinks, getting blue hundreds shoved up their meat wallets. Jesus Christ. Number three, I have Josh Allen for Frasca. Def my top QB to get a beer with, but I think he'd just be like giggling too much, you know, at like the fat strippers, or like, you know, he'd be taken out of the moment. He wouldn't take it seriously. Maybe a timely lap dance, you know. Number four, I have Jalen. Nicky Baggs is quarterback. Probably knows how to do a strip club night correctly, but he's missing out on those top spots because I can't be going with any pretty boys, you know? Like, he's going to have the fucking hookers on a squat rack. Just, I can't compete, you know? He'd be stealing all the hoes. Number five, I feel like this is a surprise to most, but Dak, Cam's quarterback, doesn't scream strip club guy. Load him up with enough Clase Azul, and I feel like you could get him to fucking, you know, he's spitting in that shit. AR 15 at number 6 for NASCAR. I just feel like he's too loud. Like, he probably only likes the Atlanta clubs, you know, looking at like the Black China type bitches, and I think they're disgusting, in my opinion. Number 7 is Mahomes. I feel like a lot of people thought he would be lower. Hanky's quarterback is probably only fun at a strip club if you bring out like the competitive side of him. Like, you need to get, like, if you went band for band with Patty Mahomes, he'd win that. And he's probably friends with the bouncers who are essentially the refs. So, you know, it's probably a good time. Number 8, another surprise, maybe a wild card, is Jared Goff for Declan. I feel like he'd know all like the freaky clubs in LA from his LA days, his Rams days. Prob likes to get like choked, you know. He's got like a fucking smoke show wife, so I don't know. I feel like he needs something extra to get where he wants to go, like BDSM club. Number 9, I have Kyler for Funari. He'd probably get yelled at for like being on his phone too much at the club, like early on. But then he'd be like paying for the whole group to get a dance later on once he, you know, decides that he's like, oh, I messed up, I'm sorry. He's also short, and, you know, short guys got to throw a lot of bands at the strip club. Number 10 is Jaden Daniels for Spunk. I feel like he just tried to go too hard too early and like blow his wad really early. He's still on that rookie contract, so it's not like he can be like, you know, setting records off the field. I feel like he would also be in like the Uber on the way back and be like, yo, like, she topped me off in the bag. And it's like, no, she didn't. We have accounted for your minutes in the club. Number 11, Brock Purdy, Carson's quarterback. I feel like he'd just be excited to be invited. Volunteers to DD after maybe. Probably came in with $40 in his pocket and left with like 20. You know, only chats to the first girl he talks to, doesn't want to like hurt her feelings afterwards. Number 12, I have Geno Smith, Santoro's, and I feel like most people would think he's higher, but there's a dude at every strip club in America that's like Geno Smith, who's like a little too friendly. He's an old head. He's a little too friendly with the fucking ladies. He gets really defensive if you're talking to his main, his bottom bitch. I don't know. I feel like he'd be weirdly territorial at a strip club. Number 13 is Joe Burrow, Grant's quarterback. I think Joey Cool would be the corniest dude ever at a strip club. I'm like imagining him just like whipping out a cigar like at a strip club, and that just is like bothering me to like a crazy degree. Just like smoking a cigar, staring at hole is crazy. Number 14 is Sam Darnold, Zach's quarterback. Bland white guys, is kind of what the bottom of the list shows a lot. I feel like he'd call it a night early, of course. Like, he's only stepping in there because, like, his wife said he could. T-Law at 15, Max's quarterback. He just simply wouldn't know what to do. He wouldn't know what to do at a strip club. Everything's been handed to him. He's always been the number one guy. He'd be like, why would I pay for sex? Dude, it's like a fucking Christ. Fuck you, T-Law. Fuck you, Max. Kirk at 16, Quinn's quarterback. We all saw this coming, right? It's just too religious. He's just too religious. Even if you like put like a million whiskey sours and Cialis in the man, I think he'd just be like, he'd be treating them like prayer group, like a friends, like Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya. Yeah, I want to see Kirk O'Bangs emerge though. Like, get a couple in him. Maybe he's a wild card. Who knows? But that concludes Week 4's power rankings, matchup predictions, celestial locks, and strip club rankings. And I just want to say thank you guys for not making me scream the N-word in the hood.